We often tend to assume that the NBA players we see on the screen and revere in the stadiums have always been this invincible. But the truth is far from it. These legends weren't born with silver spoons in their mouth and a Rolex in their wrists. Some had to live through a dark childhood to become the legends they are today. Today we will be talking about NBA players who went from rags to riches. Let's begin. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Number 1 on our list is Giannis Antetokounmpo. So let me ask you, how do you go from a nobody whose name nobody can announce to changing the Milwaukee organization from one of the worst teams to the best? Well, all I can say is that Giannis had to go through hell to get to where he is today. In fact, it's actually kind of hard to top Giannis as far as feel-good stories go. Giannis was born to 2 Nigerian immigrants in Greece in 1994. As poor immigrants, his parents struggled to find a lot of work in Athens. It was tough going for Giannis' parents to provide for the kids and put food on the table. Giannis and his brother, Thanasis, had something to do to help their family with their financial straits. So, they went around selling different things while pursuing basketball. The brothers would share the same pair of shoes as they didn't have enough money to buy shoes for both, for them to practice basketball. We sold many different things: watches, handbags, sunglasses, key rings, CDs, DVDs, whatever we could put our hands on. I was amazing at it. My brothers will tell you, selling stuff and hustling, I was definitely one of the best because I love doing it and I love spending time with my mom. Things changed in 2013 when 29 of the 30 NBA franchises came to watch Giannis ahead of the 2013 NBA draft. Right after, Giannis was drafted as the 16th pick by the Milwaukee Bucks. Even after he came to America, the young Greek struggled as he didn't have money to buy shoes or take a taxi to practice. In fact, Giannis would run to practice and scour through trash cans for salvageable shoes. Now, all of that is just history. The scrawny poor kid channeled all that talent and hard work into becoming one of the biggest stars in the NBA. He has a whopping net worth of $170 million and owns a signature shoe line called the Nike Zoom Freak. But none of that has taken Giannis' humility from him. He continues to be as humble and grounded as if the fame hasn't touched him at all. This is what he had to say after winning MVP. There's a lot of things I could improve on. First of all, look at me before I look at anybody else. Trying to self-improve as much as possible. It's a lot of things I gotta work on in my game. A lot of people say, you're the MVP. You're one of the best players in the league. You're so dominant. But I think I can get better. I think I'm at 60% of my potential. As good as I can be, I just want to be better. If you think that this was the best rags to riches story, wait till you hear about Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony. Up next on our list is Carmelo Anthony. You might have seen him make headlines in the past years, but Melo doesn't give a crap about what people think because his head is always in the game. Melo was born in Brooklyn, New York as the 4 youngest of the children. His mother worked around the clock as a housekeeper to fund his education, and Melo gets his inspiration from her. His father passed away due to liver failure when he was just 2 years old. Soon after, his family moved to Baltimore, where the young boy had to witness some gruesome and traumatic things. The city was rampant with violence, crimes, and drugs. Kenny Minor, a childhood friend of Carmelo, said, "From drugs to killings to anything you could name that goes on in the roughest parts of town. We've seen it and witnessed it hands-on. Those are the things that teach you toughness to keep you mentally focused on your goals." However, none of this corrupted the young Carmelo, and kept himself away from the criminal lifestyle by exerting all his energy into playing basketball. It is in Catholic high school where his love for basketball really grew. After he was removed from the freshman team, Melo only worked harder. And thank God for that, because all those long hours of practice paid off when Melo was drafted into the Denver Nuggets in 2003. He was the second youngest player to score 30 points in a game in just his rookie season. Can you imagine how awesome that is for a newbie? And this isn't even touching the tip of the iceberg that is Carmelo's NBA career. The athlete helped his team clinch 1 bronze medal in 2004 and 3 gold medals in 2008, 2012, and 2016. Oh, and fun fact, Melo's the only Olympic player to have won 3 gold medals ever. While we're on that topic of this many successes, Melo has been named NBA Conference Player of the Month as well as NBA All-Star 8 times in a row. So how's that for a success story? But wait up, we got an even better one for you. Up next, we got the great Derrick Rose, so don't go anywhere. Derrick Rose. Number 3 on the list is Derrick Rose. Derrick was born in the Englewood area of Southside Chicago. Now that is one place you can count on to mess up a kid for life. considering that this place is said to be one of the top 3 crime fields in the United States. Growing up, young Derek was surrounded by violence and police shootouts all the time. That's gotta traumatize a young boy for life, right? Even Derek himself said that he hated living in that neighborhood. But Derek had his 3 older brothers who protected him from the roughness and corruption. Rose had much to say about his life in Southside, as it was tough going in one of the most dangerous cities. I did all that I could have done, all the work, but at the time we were just trying to survive, me and my mom. My job every day was getting up and trying to find a way to hustle. No way I'm selling drugs or anything, but the things like shooting dice, shooting jump shots to get a few dollars from our mom, I pumped gas. I was a light-skinned kid. My other friends, they all looked rough, so since I was a light-skinned kid, I'd go up to you and say, "Hey, could I pump your gas?" I did that. I shot jump shots for money. Anything to try to take a load off my mom. She'd get a check for $700 or something every week. She didn't get paid one time a whole month. She'd get $600 or $700 to pay the bills, and we'd have $100 to spend for 2 weeks. And having a kid, how are you supposed to do anything? Derek's mother had to support the family all by herself, as his father was just not in the picture. Derek went to Simon High, and he led his freshman team to a 24-1. This got the varsity coach asking if he wanted to be on the varsity team, but he refused as he believed that the others should get the credit. He's also distinct for having one of the best high school careers in history. Derrick Rose was selected with the first pick of 2008 draft, and ironically it was his hometown, the Chicago Bulls. Moving on, we have another great player who had a rough start but managed to transform his life. Number 2, Jimmy Butler. When Jimmy Butler first joined the NBA, he was underestimated a lot. He was a rookie who barely got off the bench, only good for a nondescript game with 3 points. But now he signed a contract with the Miami Heat. So how did Butler come to such a tremendous career? Well, Jimmy had a rough childhood. He was born in Texas, and his father abandoned the struggling family when he was just a baby, and they had to move around a lot from one crappy place to another. When he was in grade school, Jimmy's mother told him that she didn't like the look of him and just kicked him out of the house. Yep, that really happened. So the young Jimmy crashed at the homes of friends for many weeks. But then he found himself shooting baskets with the future NFL pickup, Jordan Leslie. That's when he started living at Leslie's house, where he was accepted and cared for. But his life actually started to change for good when Butler joined Tyler Junior College. He ultimately landed at Marquette, where he was dropping 16 points per game. Good luck struck when he was selected by the Bulls as the 30th draft in 2011. Right now, Jimmy Butler is making headlines as a star in Minnesota, Philly, and Miami Heats right now. Before his NBA draft, Butler shared with ESPN, "Please, I know you're gonna write something. I'm just asking, don't write it in a way that makes people feel sorry for me. I hate that there's nothing to feel sorry about. I love what happened to me. It made me who I am. I'm grateful for the challenges I faced. Please don't make them feel sorry for me." Well, we're certainly proud of how far Jimmy Butler has come. The last name on our list is pretty obvious, so let's hear it for King James. LeBron James. Who hasn't heard about the great LeBron James? His success story has inspired many and moved everyone. LeBron was born in Ohio to a teenage mother and a father with an extensive criminal record. His father didn't really stick around to watch his son grow into a legend, while his mother hopped from one crappy apartment to the other. Every neighborhood brought its own plethora of violent crimes and horrific shootouts. One of his neighbors visited them and said that there were dirty dishes all around and a hole in the living room floor. That's how awful things were. LeBron had to fend for himself throughout his childhood and eat food off of food stamps because his mother loved to party a lot. As a teenager, LeBron was heavily into football, and it's kind of surprising which he had been given an opportunity to make it to the NFL. But we're glad he didn't, because where would basketball be without LeBron James? So anyways, he was drafted by the Cavaliers in 2003, and you know how the story goes. He is responsible for ending the 52-year-long streak of Ohio, and is an all-around legend. We'll actually need a whole video to this list to find all of his accolades and superb career. Click on one of those on the screen right now. See you in the next one. Till then, and take care.